I haven't cried this much in years. And that even includes like in the real-time coverage that I've been doing over not just the story of Hind Rajab, but also there are, thousands of Hind Rajabs, tens of thousands of Hind Rajabs in Gaza. I'm gonna do a quick interview with the people that made the Voice of Hind Rajab. Thank you so much for coming. I'm gonna play the trailer first. Is that all right, or is that embarrassing? No, some people will be like, "Oh, I don't want to watch my own trailer." But we're gonna. I don't know. It's like hearing your own voice.
Actor do this.
Yeah. Well, some people will also be like, "I don't want to hear my own voice." Kaya, enough. Oh my God, lady. She's a little baby. All right. Here, let's start here.
انت تغطيه وما تحاول ما تنزفيش يعني حاولي انك تسكريهم.
تمام السيارة جاية.
الو طوارئ الهلال الاحمر رام الله الضفة الغربية عمر معك تفضل. الو شو اسمك انت؟
انا مولودة حمادة. كنا دم أمام بيتي. ماما غيرت حالي.
مهدي احتمال احتاج سيارة اسعاف.
عمر حبيبي احنا مجبورين نأمن له مسلك آمن.
إذا ما فيش معها وقت.
شايف هدول يا شاب؟ خسرناهم كلهم.
8 دقايق ممكن تكلفهم حياتهم إذا ما عملناش التنسيق وعمارة.
They are shooting at a car with a little girl inside. Can you imagine that? So do something. انت في التمهيدي؟ هند احنا جايين ناخدك احنا.
كل دم أمام بيتي. أنا بطلع حجون عايزة بس لسه في فضا. لسه معنا وقت.
All right, so
what's been happening in the
sorry, okay. So that's the Voice of Hind Rajab, and today we have Kaouther Ben Hania. Am I saying it correctly?
Yes.
How would I? Okay, is that good? All right, perfect. I'm a little nervous. I'm sorry. I'm a little emotional as well. I covered the story as it was happening, as it was unfolding in real time. There's a point of it where they actually talk about how they're going to release it on the internet, and I remember like seeing the story materialize in real time. Talking to some of my friends that were also at Al Jazeera. And I will say that right off the jump, I watched it, and I haven't cried this much in years. And that even includes like in the real-time coverage that I've been doing over not just the story of Hind Rajab, but also there are, thousands of Hind Rajabs, tens of thousands of Hind Rajabs in Gaza and beyond. And this was very emotional, very impactful. And there you used the actual audio of Hind in the movie, for those of you who don't know. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on. I have a lot of questions for you, but the introduction that I wrote out is, today we're joined by Academy Award nominated Tunisian filmmaker Kaouther Ben Hania and the wonderful cast behind The Voice of Hind Rajab, a film about the 5-year-old girl who was murdered in the hands of the Israeli occupation forces in Gaza. Hind Rajab was trapped in a bombed-out car surrounded by her slain family members while Israeli tanks and soldiers shot 300 and 55 rounds into the vehicle. The film covers the harrowing perspective of the first responder call center workers in Palestine trying to communicate with Hind for hours while working their way through Israel's multi-layer bureaucracy to send medical help. In total, 9 civilians were murdered, including the ambulance driver who came to rescue Hind. So, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. This is so right off the jump, there's actually some interesting controversy surrounding even the attendance at the Oscars. One of the main actors, one of the film's leads, Motaz Malhiz, was unable to travel to the United States to attend the Academy Awards that's happening tomorrow because he holds Palestinian citizenship. In December 2025, Donald Trump banned Palestinians with Palestinian Authority issued passports from entering the United States. How do you reckon with this reality when a lead actor in your movie is incapable of traveling to the United States due to the restrictions imposed on him by his occupiers?
I mean, I'm especially sad because we know we live in an unjust world. Like you have to fight for justice, and I did this movie also for justice. We can talk about it later, but we know that there is a ban, not only for Palestinian. I mean, it's a racist ban because it targets many Arab country and African country. So if you are born in one of those countries and you need to travel, the system is already rigged. So all my 4 Palestinian actors are Palestinian, but the 3 other actors have other passport citizenship. So they can travel and be at the Oscar. Motaz was born in Jenin camp. He grew up there. He attended the Freedom Theater, which is a mythical place to learn how to become actor with all the pain and all the trauma he went through when he was child. And he can't be here. We were together, and he's not the only one, because we wanted also to bring Hind's mother, Wissam. She was with us at the BAFTAs in London, but also because she have only one with citizenship, one passport, the Palestinian passport, she can't. Yeah.
No, it's an ongoing injustice in many ways that I think like a lot of Westerners, a lot of Americans don't even comprehend. It's one of the many different ways, and one of the many different invisible ways in which Palestinians are still subjected to.
I totally agree, and I wanted just to add something because now I'm Tunisian. I'm from Tunisia, so I have a Tunisian passport, and at some point, because I studied and I worked in France, I had the French citizenship. It's a little like opening about, and I was so tired about me going to present one of my movie when I had the Tunisian passport, asking me visa all the time, asking me question. I did a movie, my first movie nominated for an Oscar, The Man Who Sold His Skin. It was about visa, like the main thing. So as you know, people who are privileged never think about those things.
Yeah.
How to travel. They go to the airport, they book a plane and go. But for the half of the earth, it's something very, very complicated. So when you are an artist, when you are a storyteller, when you are a professor, it's very complicated to travel, to meet other people. So yeah, it's an ongoing justice.
Yeah, I have. I'm fortunate enough to also have an American citizenship as well as a Turkish one, and my family members have always had a very hard time coming to the United States of America, even though I live here, to come and visit me. And it was really funny because when we were traveling to China this past year, that was the first time my American partners that I have a podcast with had ever had to go through a rigorous visa process, and they were shocked. They were like, "What do you mean we have to like?" release our passport to the government, to the Chinese government? That's crazy. It's like, what do you think the American visa process looks like? It's way more rigorous than the Chinese one. You need to have like numerous family members that can vouch for you on U.S. soil, tell them exactly where you're going.
And for Motaz and Hind's mother, we were like ready to do all the visa process, but we have a ban, which is another level
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was disastrous. There was Heal Palestine is one of the groups that I was working with for medical transfers of Palestinian children that were harmed by our taxpayer-funded bombs that Israel was using on them. And Laura Loomer is this one Trump administration advisor's crazy woman, total Islamophobe, and she was able to single-handedly command Marco Rubio, the State Department, to deny Palestinians even medical transfer into the United States of America, an organization that is already working with the State of Israel, already working with the United States of America as well, and they stopped it altogether. One of the most evil things I have personally been a part of, personally encountered. Speaking of evil, I think you showcased through the almost perfect recreation of events, the way the ominous presence of Israel at every step of the way in every aspect of Palestinian existence. One of the things that I thought was very fascinating was much like Zone of Interest, Israel is ever present.
We have the producer of Zone of Interest here.
I noticed, which was awesome as well. But I noticed that just like with Zone of Interest, like Israel's presence, just like the concentration camp is like ever present but never shown. Israel's presence is all over this movie, and yet I don't think there's ever a single instance where Israel is ever shown at all. And yet it plays a massive role in the day-to-day existence of Palestinians. And I thought that was like very ominous. Was that a deliberate choice?
Yeah, because since I made this choice because how you portray Israel, the soldier in the tank, the fact that you will show him it will be Israel. No, it's like, it's a huge system. And me as a filmmaker, I've been always interested by the systemic violence, the silent one. Yeah. Because a lot of people told me, why don't you show, it's a war movie, show the gun, show the tank, show the, I was like, no, I'm not those kind of filmmaker. There were a lot of war movie. When I heard why you have an ambulance 8 minutes away and you can't send the ambulance, for me, this is way more interesting, because nobody is talking about the laws imposed by the occupation on the Palestinian, because this little girl is Palestinian. You can't send an ambulance. You have to ask the permission of those who killed her family through, you see in the movie, a lot of intermediary. Yeah. So they can tell you, okay, now you can send an ambulance. And the the moral dilemma of taking this decision. Should you follow all their, we are talking about bureaucracy, Kafkain bureaucracy, but it's bureaucracy by design. It's not like the Soviet bureaucracy. It's done by design to make their life impossible and the life of this little girl impossible, but in a literal way. Yeah.
No, absolutely. It's there's a complex web of communications that you perfectly showcase in it, where the Palestinian Red Crescent is communicating with with the Red Cross, and then the Red Cross is communicating with either the Israeli government or Kojat directly. And then Kojat is the one that's allowing deconfliction to happen. There's no movement for EMS systems inside of Palestine, inside of Gaza, without the go-ahead by Israel. And of course, one of the other aspects of the story is that even with the deconfliction that takes place, Israel still ends up shooting and killing.
They don't respect their own rule.
Yeah, exactly. And they've done this with even Westerners as well, with the World Central Kitchen. They've done this with Americans in the West Bank as well, American Palestinians. And there is, it is almost ironic that that same system of enforcement that reaches far beyond the occupied territories that are illegally occupied by Israel, but also even to the United States of America, and that even continues with the travel restrictions that were implemented that made it so that Hind's mother could not make it to the Oscars this year. And it's gotten worse, ironically enough, because last year I had everyone from No Other Land, their whole family was here, and they're also on a Palestinian passport. So while the crisis has grown, Well, the death tolls have grown. The way that America responds has gotten even worse.
Yeah.
It's unimaginable. So you were, before attending Venice, you were receiving countless attacks. Even this week, pro-Israel groups are targeting the film. Now, Congress has introduced the Justice for Hind Rajab Act in response to the film. How does it feel to make a piece of art so powerful that the U.S. government is playing a role in finally responding to this unconscionable murder?
It's incredible. I mean, this is a win. This is something I'm very proud of, because I was thinking a lot about my job as a filmmaker and what does it mean to tell stories when the unthinkable is happening in reality, and how to portray this reality, and how to make impactful movies. Can movie change things? You know, we often think about movie as entertainment, you know, to escape. And what about something telling you this is happening and this is painful? So the act, this bill is something, it's a premiere. It never happened. And it's something about justice and accountability, not only for Hind Rajab. The bill have the name of Hind Rajab, but it's also something about the thousand of the killed children and civilian. And it says something, as you said, we are in things are getting worse, but we have like a glimpse of hope because we have this act. It's something starting right now, and I think that justice and accountability are something very, very important. And this bill is calling for this, and I want to thank the representative who proposed this bill, and it's proposed in the Senate and in the Congress.
Yeah. If the congressional act is passed, the bill will require Marco Rubio and Pete Hegseth to produce a report within 45 days that explains whether or not this murder violates the U.S. Foreign Assistance Act and the Leahy Law. These are two things that would actually render all aid to Israel inoperable in our state. And there are already laws in the books. We've just never applied them over the course of the last 2.5 years where Israel was conducting this genocide. Some members of Congress are eager to see justice, yet since October 7, the United States has sent $21.7 billion to the state of Israel.
But there is another bill, stop... Block the bomb, bill.
Block the bombs as well. But as far as things goes, we were talking about art's impact and your role to play. Do you feel like every person, no matter what, because this is a question I receive all the time from a lot of students when I visit college campuses, like, what am I supposed to do? I'm an artist. What am I supposed to do? I'm just a filmmaker. What am I supposed to do as far as like, is this actually moving the needle in some way, or is it just causing people to feel like they're participating in activism? Do you have a message for people like that?
I did this movie because I felt helpless. And when you feel helpless, you should feel angry because you are not helpless. I mean, we are talking today about a bill, with the name of this little girl, a bill for justice and accountability. So I think anybody who can think that they are helpless, they should canalize their anger about being helpless in something. Anybody can do something. And I believe really in the power of the collective action. And this movie, it was a great journey because when people watch it, it's like witnessing a crime. When you witness a crime, you feel responsible, You should do something. So I have a lot this question, like after the screening, what can I do? And I always tell everybody, you can do something. Talk to your representative. You can donate. The smallest thing you can do can have a huge effect. It's better than saying, I can't do anything and things are the way that they are.
Yeah. This is a question that I ask people like Bilal Khaled as well, who's from Gaza, who's a Palestinian photojournalist, very famous. And I interviewed him in Doha. He had escaped Gaza with most of his family, but some of his family still remain behind. And I asked him like how he felt about the situation. Is there like, do you feel conflicted, or is there like a sense of shame almost? This is something that I've heard from a lot of people that do a lot to broaden the outreach and broaden awareness. Did you feel a little conflicted at any point while you were making this movie that victims like Hind Rajab, I mean, it's outside of your power, but victims like Hind Rajab are ever present and still very much trapped in Gaza? Like, was that a part of? Did that play a role in your creative process? Did that change the dynamic a little bit for you at all?
Like, why specifically Hind Rajab? Not.
No, just in general. Like, was that? Did that complicate things for you? That like this is a real story of a real person that you were shedding light on, and like initially, I believe their family was still stuck in Gaza as well.
No, they've been evacuated. Hind mother and her family. I'm a documentary filmmaker. I started doing documentary. I did narrative and documentary. I did both hybrid film. And I know that when you do documentary, you portray real people life. It's very different from fiction as we know it. Like fiction, it's actor. You hire actor, and then when the shooting and the promotion is finishing, everybody go to his life. When you portray real life stories, and especially a story like Hind Rajab, it's for life. It's a commitment. Like I knew when I picked up the phone in the beginning, because I was asking myself, I mean, this story affected me beyond words. So, and as I said, I felt helpless, I felt angry, and I thought, what can I do? I'm a filmmaker. I have the tools to tell story, but I have no legitimacy. Like who I am to tell this wonderful little girl from Gaza. So the first thing I did is to call her mother, to call the family. And we had a long conversation about Hind, and one of the first things she told me, she talked about justice. I want justice for my daughter, and if this film can help in a way, please do it. So for me, it was something beyond making a movie, making a movie, but making an impact behind it and thinking about justice and accountability. So, I mean, the idea to tell how to tell this story, this was my job as a filmmaker, asking myself what is the best way to tell this story. And it's a very complicated thing when you think about it, because as I said, it's a real story, it's a war crime, and also it's an open wound. It's very sensitive, but at the same time, I was afraid to maybe I'll not do a very good movie, or it will be not so all those elements, but not doing the movie wasn't an option for me. Like I needed to do it now. Ask me why, because a lot of people told me wait, like the movie we see about World War II, wait several years, and then you will things will settle down. And I was thinking, in which way things will settle down? Like we'll have trial, like we'll have accountability. So I thought about this sentence of Hind mother. I want justice for my daughter, and if this movie can help in a way, please do it. And today we have this bill asking for justice and accountability. Yeah. So it was an incredible journey, but it's not all. It's only the beginning, I think. Yeah,
there's also the Hind Rajab Foundation as well. That's that documents the numerous war crimes that the Israeli occupational forces have documented themselves on their social media, and then released that information to European and other governments around the world, if there are dual citizens that have participated in these war crimes. So it's one of the many different ways where people are seeking out justice. I do want to talk about utilizing Hind Rajab's own voice in this. What was the decision-making process there? Like what made you want to use her voice while also utilizing very talented actors to portray the other individuals involved?
This movie started because I heard her voice. It was all over the internet. You remember, you said that you covered this. And because her voice haunted me, And because it was also in social media, and we know that social media, it's not a place to remember, it's a place to forget. Like, you are scrolling her voice between two other insignificant things. So I was thinking about a way to center her voice and to honor her voice in a place where people can sit in the dark, which is a theater, and listen and know about her story. So for me, I considered maybe for 2 seconds the fact to bring an actress, a child actress, and to make her mimic what Hind went through. And for me, it was like silencing her again. Her voice was so powerful. I needed her voice to echo everywhere. So talking with her mother, explaining to her all the process, for me, it was obvious, you know. It's like telling someone why you are using Anne Frank journal. It's a private, it's an intimate journal. She's right. No, you have documents that are sometimes bigger than anything. And her voice wasn't recorded to move us. Her voice was recorded because she called the call center, the Palestinian Red Crescent, and they record all the phone calls. So it was recorded because it happened. So what you do with this? Was the question I asked myself.
No, it was the most impactful moment for me, like the shifting over with the phone camera to showcase the actual people. I mean, I'm still getting chills when thinking about it. Like,
you have to tell me what you thought about the movie.
I loved the movie. It was incredible. Like I said, I've covered these things every single day for the past 2.5 years, and I've been an anti-Zionist a public speaker against Israel for a decade plus at this point, and day in, day out, covering the atrocities, talking to some of the journalists, some friends that I had that passed away, some fans that I had in my community that were also content creators that were killed by Israel in the process. I feel like it has this weird effect on your humanity and the way that you receive this information, because I feel like I have a job to do, and my job is to like educate people to the best of my ability in the moment, and like I'm constantly battling people who are coming into my community with a lot of hatred towards Palestinians, with a lack of information. So I felt like I did not have the opportunity to fully let the emotional toll take its place until I watched this movie, and it was very powerful. Like I said, I don't cry too much. I'm not a big crier at all. It's not like on some toxic masculinity thing either. But the moment that, there were a couple moments where I was tearing up, but the moment that I actually started bawling like a baby was when you had this brilliant instance of cinematography where you have a phone camera that's filming the Palestine Red Crescent individuals in Ramallah, in the Ramallah call center. And through the lens of that phone camera, you see the actual people that were filmed in the exact same way that you have recreated. And it reminds people that this is a real story, and it's a 100% faithful adaptation of exactly what took place. And it hits you like a truck, where you're like, I'm not watching a movie. This is not, there's a narrative through line here, but this is not actually a movie. This is real life. This is a thing that actually happened. So that was very powerful, in my opinion. That was like the moment where I just, again, started crying like unstoppably. But yeah, it was great. I don't know if that's soft or if that's wrong, if there was a better way to consume it, but that was, for me, that was.
I know there is no a specific way,
Yeah. So, what going back to the Hind Rajab incident, though, given that there are so many instances of violence that have taken place, what was it specifically about Hind and her voice that caused you to think this is what I want to cover and show the rest of the world?
It wasn't like I was looking for something and I found it, or I was picking. I was about to start another movie that I've been writing for several years. It was financed, and we were about to start the pre-production. And at the same time, I was glued to the news, following what was happening in Gaza, and thinking about what can I do? You know, we all feel like angry, and I was scrolling on social media, and I heard Hind voice. And since it was like, I couldn't unhear it, so I stopped the other project, the other film, I put it aside, and I started working on the Voice of Hind Rajab, because for me, I couldn't do any other thing. Like, when you hear her voice, there is something, you know, that, at least for me, that happened to me, that I couldn't do the other movie or go on with my daily life. And so, yeah, it was, I think, something deeply infuriating about injustice in this world. And I needed to do this movie, to share all the anger I felt and all the sadness I felt with audience all over the world, and to honor her voice and to remember this little girl. And not only her, when you talk to her mother, she always said, my daughter is not the only child. She was recorded.
Yeah.
So think about the 1,000 and the 1,000 and the 1,000. And you said you cried. Multiply that pain with the number of all those children. You think that there is a human heart can stand, you know, like with this? And this is why a singular story can be powerful, you know, because through this singular story, you can think about the extent that happened around, you know.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So you chose not to accept the Most Valuable Film Prize at the Cinema for Peace Gala. Under what conditions would you have considered accepting it? And if you win tomorrow, will you accept the Oscar?
I'll not win tomorrow. I know it. For the prize, Most Valuable Movie of the Year, it was a very special award because that room was full of politicians.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them, they gave cover for the genocide in Gaza. And there was something about using cinema to absolve themselves, like. And I was, no, I'll not be part of this. And always I remember Hind's mother word, I want justice for my daughter. So you want peace? You guys are talking about peace. And in general, I get very suspicious when I have the word peace in the name of something. You know?
Yeah.
There is something always. So I was thinking that if you want peace, let's have some accountability. Where are the guys who killed Hind Rajab, the person who gave the order? Not only Hind Rajab, all her family, the paramedic who came to save her, Ahmed Madhoun and Yusuf Zainu. I mean, and not only them. If we talk about peace, you can't have peace without accountability. It's not like a step you can skip.
No, absolutely. The film has been embraced by international film festivals, but much like other Palestinian films, like No Other Land, it faces challenges in U.S. distribution. Can you speak about the industry's reluctance to support Palestinian stories like this one?
I think that there is something shifting. The industry is still very conservative.
Yeah.
But people want to hear the Palestinian perspective. There is curiosity. And this year, there was not only my movie, but two other wonderful movies, Palestine 36 and All What Is Left of You, done by two wonderful women Palestinian director. And there is a hunger for to know the Palestinian story and the Palestinian perspective. I mean, the market is very scared, and because, you know, we talk about the market because we live in this world where when you do a movie with no star and with subtitles,
Yeah.
you can stay in a very small place, in a niche place. So you have to fight also to show your movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like my movie, we were thinking if it was another topic, like another topic, not about Gaza, not about Palestine. We had the longest standing ovation in Venice Film Festival. We had a big award in Venice Film Festival. And, with all the award track record, you will have the biggest studio who wanted to distribute your movie. It wasn't the case. But we were distributed by Willa, which is also our executive producer, and we found the place, and people watched the movie actually. Here in the United States, I was in a lot of screening doing Q&A, and the other day I was in the supermarket and they was asking for, I don't know, something, and the guy in the supermarket told me, "You are the director of this movie. This movie changed my life."
Wow.
He was a young guy, very, and it touched me. He was almost crying. So for me, all this, as I told you, we'll not win tomorrow, but we already won. For me, it's.
Why do you think you won't win tomorrow? You keep saying that. This is the
because
second time.
because I've been nominated twice before.
I'm like that too, though. I'll always be like, no, until it's done. And I'm like, no, that's not. Stop saying it. I don't know. Is that
because you are superstitious?
Yeah.
Me, I'm being a realist.
Oh, okay. So you're not being superstitious.
No, I'm not superstitious.
Okay, I am superstitious. Maybe it's a Tunisian thing. I don't know. Turkish people are very superstitious.
No, we are related. We are also very superstitious, but I'm trying to be a little bit rational.
Okay.
But we are all superstitious in a way. So.
Yeah. There are a lot of hate campaigns against this. I mean, it's something that I have personally had to deal with quite a bit as well. It's in the United States of America at any point in time, especially now things are changing a little bit. But if you advocate for the humanity of Palestinians, if you showcase the perspective of the Palestinians, if you recognize them as human beings, as victims in any way, shape, or form, with people with lives, dreams, and a bright future ahead, you get inundated with unimaginable amounts of hate. What's the weirdest thing you've seen from Zionist advocacy groups?
I've seen someone saying Layan, the cousin Cole, she's killed in the phone.
Yeah.
It's an actress, it's not true. Someone saying this never happened, where is this girl? Stuff like this, but it's not serious, serious thing. But it's a little bit how to say. When we did this movie, we were thinking about being scrutinized and being attacked, and we did everything in our power to make a bulletproof movie. We studied everything, and I think that's why we don't have an official response, because even the Israeli till now they are investigating this case, investigating themselves. But the weirdest attacks I got actually is from pro-Palestinian people. You don't have to do this movie, it's too early. But I know also that it's coming from a place of trauma.
Yeah.
It's, you will tell our story, how you will tell it. And it started before those people saw the movie. There was a lot of suspicion around the movie. But then when they watch it, they change the perspective. But I don't think about all those things. The movie is shown in every country on the world where you have movie theater. Mm-hmm. Till now, it's distributed all over the world. It was in Australia last week. It will be in Japan in 1 month. It was distributed all over Europe, Latin America, here in the United States and Canada, all over the places. So for me, this is. And we are nominated for an Oscar, which gives a huge spotlight. I don't care about the Oscars, It's not the, I need my Oscar thing, But I know we live in a world, because this movie, I'll not show it to people like you. I appreciate that you watch it,
I'm intimately very, very familiar with the situation.
Exactly. Yeah. I want people who are not familiar. And when they watch the movie, you can see their reaction.
Yeah.
It's a strong one. So I need the spotlight of the Oscar, the spotlight of everything, because as I said, when you are an ordinary guy and going back to home, it's not the movie, the feel-good movie that you will play on your, TV to watch it. You need like people telling you it's great, it was nominated for an Oscar. So yeah, all this is very, very important.
Yeah. And as far as the perspective, obviously, of pro-Palestinian people that you mentioned, I would say that a lot of those people are probably not in Gaza that had this approach or had this perspective, because from the people I've spoken to, they were all very appreciative of the prospect of like broadening the awareness of yet another unnecessary death, an unnecessary murder, an illegal act that took place in the hands of Israel that, at least for the time being, seemingly is going unaccountable. So I think people do appreciate it. There was a Berlin Film Festival instance that I wanted to ask you about. They asked some of the actors and some of the directors that were there about their political perspectives, and they said this is not supposed to be a political place. Like, this is not a place to talk about politics. How do you feel about that?
No, it was Wim Wenders who was the jury president in the Berlinale, and he said film are not political, and I don't agree. You know, the fact that you say film are not political is already a political position in itself, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that anything that deals with a human being, unless you film plant and trees, is political in a way.
Yeah.
Even if you say it's not.
Well, even planting trees is political, especially in Israel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking about something about like the sun and the link between the sun and the tree. But you see, even trees are political.
Yeah.
So, what about movie with a human being?
Yeah, no, absolutely. What's your message to someone who watches this film and shares the anger that you feel, shares the anger that I feel, but doesn't know what next steps to take?
As I said, you know, this movie, the movie is yours. Like, use it, first of all. And the movie was used in a very, very great way by all the NGO. And so show it to your friend, talk about it, and organize yourself. Do something, donate, join, join other people, talk to your representative. And everybody can see a little bit in his surrounding what he can do. There is another thing, you know, which is the fact that people often, you know, very nice people, well-intentioned people tell me, I can't handle it, the movie. I'm not sure I can watch it. And I always tell them, you are talking from a privileged point of view. Because you think that the movie will, you know, will be hard. You don't want to watch it, but this is a real story. It's happening. So watch it, and if it's hard, do something about it.
Yeah, yeah. One of the things that I also found very fascinating was the dynamic between the younger first responder on the phone. Versus like the older person at the call center that was like in control over the communications. There was almost this pragmatic approach that he had to take because he had gone through this experience so many more times. Versus there was a reluctance to abide by the systems in place and like wanted an understandable need to immediately intervene. Which would have potentially put the ambulance in harm's way. How did you feel about showcasing that juxtaposition? Because like Palestinian society is very diverse in both the ways that they handle living under constant Israeli occupation, and sometimes people do. There is the more pragmatic approach in instances that's necessary, but there's also like the immediate rise to the occasion. Was that deliberate, or was that just like something that happened in real life, so you just chose to put it in the documentary.
Yeah, I mean, my job as a filmmaker, I tried to stay very close to reality. So this screenplay is written through the testimony of real Omar, real Mahdi, the real dispatcher and employee of the Red Crescent. But they told me a lot of things. So my work as a filmmaker is to write something coherent that have meaning, because you do a lot of things that don't have meaning. I was curious to know about everything that happened that day. So for me, it was very meaningful, and it's normal. Omar is on the phone with this little girl, so he want to do anything to save her. Mahdi, his job is to send the ambulance. He's not on the phone with the girl, So he's afraid and he lost already colleagues. He sent them to their death. And in the movie, we see Mahdi. He says, if there is another photo added to this wall, he have a wall of all his killed colleagues by the Israeli army. And by the way, the Red Crescent, they lost 56 members of their crew in rescue mission like this, So he said, if there is another photo added to this wall, I resign. And the real Mahdi, this is what he did, after his job is to send those guys. He sent them to save this little girl, and they were bombarded by an American bomb, by the way. When they were bombarded, he resigned after, because he was an impossible job. And all this is to say, for me, it was very significant when you see that in both cases, you lose. The game is rigged.
Yeah.
Like the Israeli are there imposing all this set of rules. They don't respect those rules. You follow them or you don't follow them, you are killed at the end, which is something very, very, very cruel if we think about it. So for me, it was very important to say, and there is this narrative that Palestinians are always divided, You can see that when you are occupied, you don't have much of choice, you know. So I needed to show, how this systemic oppression, because the two guys wanted the same thing. They wanted to save this little girl.
Yeah.
They want the same thing. But both of the decision, Israel is there to say no. Both of things don't work. You will not. It's not working for me,
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, I thought it was interesting that, yes, they're singularly focused on the same goal, which is saving Hind Rajab's life, but they had a different way of going about it due to lived experience, and yet, they're still united under the same, with the
same
singular
goal,
focus, because, that's just what it looks like when you are living under constant colonial oppression. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
This was remarkable, and I hope you guys go watch it. And look, all I'm gonna say is last year No Other Land was here, and what? Oh yeah, there's a donation link that we've been spamming in the chat as well. If you want to support this fundraiser,
there is something to do. You see?
Yeah, the Voice of Hind Rajab pre-Oscar dinner fundraiser. 50% of the proceeds will go to the Palestinian Red Crescent Society of the Red Cross and Red Crescent movement, and then the other is going to Latino Muslim Unity, which supports grassroots nonprofit advancing social justice, storytelling, mutual aid, and community advocacy. That is for those who are being targeted by ICE here, because it's that struggle that similar style of violence also exists here in the United States of America, maybe not to the same degree. And, we work to try to make sure that it doesn't turn into that, and to try to put an end to all this pain and senseless violence. But yes, thank you so much for coming on. And this was wonderful. And I hope I did a decent job of trying to, get your voice across.
Thank you.
Yeah, I already messed up with the camera because it was, I'm in front of a director. I didn't even frame it correctly.
I'm not working, so I don't.
Okay. Yeah. What? Yeah. Oh, how can people watch the movie?
The movie is still in some theater, but They can buy it in Apple TV, Amazon. It's available so they can for streaming. They can buy it and watch it and share it and talk about it again, and meet together, watch it together.
Yeah.
It's a good experience. I mean, I've been in a lot of movie theater. People arrive together in group of friends so they can watch it and they can talk about it after.
Yeah. I would recommend watching it with someone who's like, at this point, still kind of questioning the Israel stuff. That's like, oh, but it's a normal country, right? Like it's our ally. If you have anyone that has any like doubt, this will clear all of their doubt about the violent nature of the Israeli occupation perfectly by focusing on one story, one injustice, but that covers all of the ever-present and ultimately very violent systemic forces perfectly. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. What?
Oscars are tomorrow at 4 p.m.
Yeah, Oscars are tomorrow at 4 p.m. Tune in, everybody.